Once upon a time, in a small and peaceful town in the United States, there lived a 78-year-old woman named Martha Wilson. Her house was simple. It wasn't a big mansion, and she didn't have a lot of money. But everyone in town knew her because she always had a warm smile on her face. Children loved talking to her. Neighbors enjoyed visiting her. And anyone who met her felt a little happier afterward. People often wondered, how can Martha be so happy all the time? One day, a young man named Ethan decided to ask her. Ethan had a good job, a nice apartment, and all the modern comforts he could ask for. But deep inside, he was never at peace. He worried about money. He worried about the future. He worried about what other people thought of him. One afternoon, Ethan walked to Martha's porch and asked, "Martha, can I ask you something?" She smiled. "Of course, Ethan," he said. "You don't have a lot of money. You live alone, yet you always seem happy. What's your secret?" Martha looked out at the beautiful sky for a moment. Then she said softly, "If you have time, I'll tell you a story." Ethan nodded and sat beside her. Martha began. "Many years ago, my life looked very different. I had a loving husband, a beautiful daughter, and a small family business. Life wasn't perfect, but it was good." She paused. A shadow crossed her face. Then everything changed. Ethan listened carefully. Martha continued. "First, our business failed during a difficult economic downturn. We lost almost all our savings. Then my husband became seriously ill." Her voice grew quiet. "We spent everything we had trying to save him. But in the end, I lost him." Ethan felt his heart sink. But Martha wasn't finished. "A few years later, my daughter moved across the country. At first, we spoke often. Then life became busy. The calls became fewer and fewer." She sighed. Eventually, months would pass without hearing from her. For a moment, Ethan didn't know what to say. "That must have been incredibly painful." Martha nodded. "It was. There were nights when I cried myself to sleep. There were mornings when I didn't even want to get out of bed." She looked down at her hands. "I felt completely alone." Then a small smile appeared on her face. "But one day, something happened that changed my life forever." Ethan leaned closer. "What happened?" Martha pointed toward a large oak tree standing in her yard. "One morning, I was sitting outside feeling sorry for myself. That's when I noticed a squirrel. The squirrel was carrying acorns to its nest, back and forth, again and again. Suddenly, a strong storm rolled in. Heavy winds shook the tree. Several branches broke. The squirrel's nest was destroyed." Martha shook her head. "I felt terrible for it. I thought it would give up. But the next morning, the squirrel was back, carrying more acorns, building again, working again, trying again." Martha smiled. "That's when I realized something. If that tiny squirrel could start over after losing everything, why couldn't I?" That simple thought changed her life. From that day forward, Martha made a decision. She would stop counting what she had lost and start counting what she still had. The next morning, she wrote down 3 things she was grateful for: the warm sunlight, a cup of coffee, the sound of birds singing. The next day, she wrote 3 more: a kind neighbor, a beautiful sunset, a healthy body. Every night before bed, she wrote down 3 good things from her day, no matter how small they were. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. Months turned into years. Slowly, her heart became lighter. Her smile returned, and peace came back into her life. Martha looked at Ethan and asked, "Tell me something. If I spent every day thinking only about what I lost, do you think I would ever be happy?" Ethan shook his head. "No." Martha smiled. "Exactly. Happiness doesn't come from having a perfect life. It comes from noticing the good things that still exist, even when life is difficult." Ethan sat quietly. For the first time in a long time, he felt something he hadn't felt before: hope. That night, Ethan started his own gratitude journal. Every evening, he wrote down 3 good things. Slowly, his anxiety began to fade. His mind became calmer. His life became brighter. Months later, many people in town had started doing the same thing. They complained less. They appreciated more. And the entire community became happier. Friends, every person carries some kind of pain. Some people have lost money. Some have lost dreams. Some have lost people they love. But true happiness is not about how much you have. True happiness is about appreciating what remains. Remember this: the secret to happiness is not found in wealth. It is found in gratitude. And the day you learn to focus on your blessings instead of your losses, your life begins to change. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like this video. And if you want more inspiring stories that can change the way you think, be sure to subscribe. Remember, happiness is not something you find. It's something you create through the way you choose to see your life. Thank you for watching. And I'll see you in the next story.